Hello, and thank you for joining me today. So, as a parent, have you ever heard these inner voices, your inner critic telling you things like you're a terrible person or you're a terrible parent? Have you heard this voice that keeps saying you've not handled this situation better? Or have you heard this voice that keeps on telling you you're ruining your life or you're ruining the life of your children? Now, if any of these thoughts and more have crossed your mind for once as an individual, as an adult, as a parent, I'm here to tell you you are not alone. Now, parenting is one of the most emotionally charged, and challenging roles you can do as a person. It needs you to be persistent. It needs you to speak to yourself in a kind way. It needs you to deal with your inner critic, and that is why we are here. Now, even the most, devoted of parents can sometimes find themselves trapped in circles of limiting beliefs, in circles of self-blame, and in circles of doubt. Now, ironically, it's often the most caring, and those parents that you think are conscious most times that might suffer from this inner critic, because most times we have the desire to do the right things, we have the desire to raise our children in the right way, we have the desire to just want to do the right things, but sometimes you find this inner dialogue, this inner critic that keeps on telling you you're not good enough. Sometimes this dialogue sabotages your self-confidence. Sometimes it prevents you from making decisions, and sometimes it makes you not even be connected with your child. I'm here to tell you you're not alone, and that is why I founded the Renewed Parent Academy. In our academy, we help parents, we help individuals, we help adults to deal with our limiting beliefs. We are there to learn, so we learn. We develop ourselves every day so we can handle and deal with this inner critic, this inner dialogue that have been holding us back and that have been preventing us from moving forward as parents and as individuals. So what is the meaning of inner critic? Now, the inner critic is a psychological term for the internal voice that constantly judges, that internal voice that constantly criticizes, or that internal voice that demeans you, or that demeans us as people, as individuals, as adults. Now, this voice reflects your insecurities. This voice reflects your internalized fears, and these voices often echoes the disapproval we might have experienced sometimes in our childhood, the disapproval we might have experienced from the society, the disapproval we might have experienced growing up, and everything around us. So the inner critic is the part of ourselves that has absorbed all the negative messages we have received and now repeat this message to us on the inside. So those negative messages that we've received probably by growing up, maybe from our experiences, maybe from our interaction and relationship with people, maybe from the society at large, those negative messages, it now reflects back to us. It now comes to be our inner critic, which is not a good voice. So we're going to learn, how can this negative self-talk affect us as individuals? When you talk to yourself in a negative light, when you talk to yourself without respect, when you talk to yourself in a way that demeans you, how does it affect you? Number one, paralysis in decision making. When your inner critic is loud, it makes you to be indecisive. As a parent, as an adult, it makes you to be indecisive in anything you do. You start to second guess yourself. That is why you find out a lot of us are second guessing ourselves. A lot of us don't even believe so much in ourselves. A lot of us don't even have so much confidence in ourselves. And what do? We second guess ourselves. We second guess every choice we make. We are always asking, is it okay? Is it not okay? This choice, this decision, is it okay? Is it not okay? Because we are paralyzed because of our inner critic, our inner dialogue, which is not doing us a favor. It can also erode trust in your judgment. You don't trust your judgment anymore. You don't trust yourself anymore. That is one of the downside of negative self-talk. And that is what this inner critic, this inner dialogue that we have with ourselves, sometimes negative, these are the negative effects. It makes us to be stagnant, not to make decisions, not to trust in our choices, not to trust in our abilities to make decisions. Then the second negative self-talk, the effect of negative self-talk is emotional reactivity. Now, as parents, as individuals, sometimes you might feel like you're failing. You might feel like you're responding harshly. Sometimes you might just be anxious. Sometimes you're just a bit tense and a bit worried about a whole lot of things. And because of that, because of this inner dialogue you're having with yourself, it will make you sometimes as a parent not to be present. Sometimes it will make you to be stuck in your shame. Sometimes you just be you're being physically present, but emotionally you're not present. That is one of the downside of negative self-talk. Another downside of negative self-talk is perfectionism and control. Now, negative self-talk often stems from unrealistic expectations. Negative self-talk, it comes from the point of unrealistic expectations. Most times we expect ourselves to do a whole lot of things. Most times the expectation we set for ourselves, the standard we set for ourselves, of our children, of our people around us is usually high. Most times as parents, as adults, we try to overcorrect. By becoming over rigid, you're controlling because you want everything to be perfect. You don't even give your child autonomy most times. You don't even give your child the ability to express themselves because you want everything to be perfect. You want to be in full control at every point in time. That is one of the negative effects of self-talk or negative self-talk. Then the other negative effect of self-talk is modeling less self-worth. Now, most times our children absorb what we say as parents. They absorb who we are. So your child can see if you're a confident parent. Your child can see if you're really working on yourself to grow yourself, to improve on yourself, because they are watching, they are seeing. Now, a parent that is constantly pulling themselves down in front of your child, you're constantly pulling yourself down in front of your child, maybe directly or indirectly. What you're doing is that you're teaching your child to adopt the same critical stance towards themselves. So when you're constantly pulling yourself down, you're also teaching your child to pull themselves down in front of people or when they are alone. Because what you do, your child will definitely learn and model from it. Now, how can we begin to combat and to deal with this inner critic? How can we deal with these inner voices that is not serving us? How can we begin to walk from the point of self-judgment to the point of self-compassion? Number one, learn to name that voice. Now, recognizing the inner critic is the first step. So give that voice a name. Give that judge a name. That thing that always comes to you, begin to give it a name. Could it be fear? Could it be your being perfect? Could it be perfectionism? Could it be you just want to control everything? Give it a name. Then the second thing you can do to deal with this inner critic is to challenge the narrative. So begin to have conversations with yourself. Ask yourself things like, would I say this to, if I'm in such situation, this thing, does it really apply? For example, if you're scared, if you're fearful, you ask yourself, this thing I'm scared of, is it really my thoughts? Am I really scared of this? Is it the right thing? Is it real, or is it just my mind that is playing out? Ask yourself, is there any evidence to even support this thing I'm scared of? Is there any evidence to support that this inner critic or this negative self-talk is even true? Is there any evidence? Then the next thing you do is tell yourself, how can I be kind enough to myself? How can I express self-compassion to myself? Then you begin to talk to yourself. You begin to talk to yourself like someone that you love. You begin to show love to yourself. You begin to express love to yourself by speaking on this inner voices, these negative voices. Begin to counter them with the positive voice. The second thing you should do is to practice self-compassion. Now, self-compassion is not about we as parents or as adults lowering our standards, but it's about we acknowledging that we are humans and sometimes we make mistakes. That is what self-compassion is. As parents, as adults, we make mistakes, but our ability to be kind to ourselves, our ability to show self-compassion to ourselves does a whole lot of difference. So today, begin to express some form of compassion to yourself. When you make mistake, you dust yourself and you tell yourself it's not over. I'm going to be compassionate to myself and I'm going to continue my journey. And the third thing we can do to deal with this inner critic or to move from the point of self-judgment to self-compassion is number 3, seek support and normalize the struggle. Now, one of the ways you can seek support, that is why we have the Renewed Parent Academy. This academy is here to help us as parents, as adults, to grow, to deal with those mindset, those limiting beliefs that has held us for a long time. So seek support, join the right community, join the right accountability system, those people that can hold you so that when you start to have this thought, you can speak to them and they can lift you up. Then the last thing you can do is to begin to focus on connection over perfection. Focus on connecting more with yourself. Focus on being aware of the kind of person you are. Focus on connecting more to your strengths, utilizing your strengths, and trying to see how you can deal and work on your weaknesses. But the focus should be on you. The focus should be on you connecting with yourself. The focus should be on you connecting with your children over perfection. So as a parent, when you set out to do something, don't always seek out for perfection. Just always tell yourself, I'm going to put in my best. But even when you don't even get to your goal, even when you don't get your desired outcome or what you planned or set out to do, you express, you show yourself some form of compassion. You show yourself some form of self-love. Now, the next time your inner critic whispers that voice to you, the next time that voice comes to you and tell you, you will not get it, you are not enough, you are this, you are that, ask yourself, is this voice helping me to express love to myself? Is this voice helping me to parent my children with love? Or is this voice driving me with fear? Most times, these voices, this inner critic usually drive us to fear. That is the conversation we should have with ourselves. And as a parent, as an adult, as an individual, you should choose to parent from the place of compassion over criticism. You should choose to lead your life from the place of compassion over you criticizing yourself. Not just because of not just for your children alone. You should also express self-compassion to yourself. And when you begin to express self-compassion, self-kindness to yourself, you see that you begin to work on those inner critic and those negative voices. And that is why you should join the Renewed Parent Academy. In our academy, we've come together as a parent, learning how to grow, learning how to overcome our limitations, learning how to overcome those voices, those inner dialogue we've been having that has kept us for a long time. We invite you, come grow with us, come join us, and let us begin to transform and be the better versions of ourselves. Let us begin to work on all those limitations we've had as parents, as adults, as individuals, and begin to live the best form of life that God has called us to be. So I invite you, join us, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Renewed Parent Academy, get a copy of our book, Becoming a Renewed Parent, and I have some other books coming up. Join our community. I'm going to drop the link in the comment section to get full detail on everything. So join us and let us grow. Let us grow together. Thank you till I come your way next time. To have a good day and bye.